Welcome to Court Explainer. Court Helicopter is always bringing it to you as it is. We are doing this because two fundamental things have happened. We brought the Constitution because Raila Odinga and Kibaki read for us and they are all dead. So we decided to bring the 25 episodes. Have you read them? Have you followed them? Follow them. They are on our YouTube channel. Two, the Penal Code says ignorance of the law is no defense against an offense committed. That is Section 7 of the Penal Code. What we are talking now is a question. Are you having a genuine certificate? Is your class 8, your form 4 certificate, your diploma, your university degrees, are they genuine? What is the price of making a forged certificate? Have you uttered a document? Have you given a document that is false? Is your title deed, the one that you have, a genuine title deed? Have you seen how many people are being arrested that they are carrying forged documents? Government, the EACC has issued a circular that people who are employed in public service and they have no genuine certificates, they are arrested and be charged. Are you one of them? Court Helicopter brings you the law relevant to forged documents. Forgery. What is forgery? Can forgery be on words, oral or written? What is the offense of forgery? What is the offense of a fake document? When does a document become fake? Very many of you have documents that you think are genuine, but they are fake. Is your ID that you have a genuine ID? Is the visa, you want to travel to Dubai, you want to travel to Hawaii, you want to travel anywhere, somebody gives you a fake document. How do you deal with it? Is your birth certificate a genuine birth certificate or is a forgery? Wakili Danstan Omari bringing it live on the question of documents that are forged and documents that are not genuine. Forgery. Definition of forgery. Let us get the definition of forgery. Forgery is the making of a false document with the intent to defraud or to deceive. That is Section 345. I repeat, forgery is the making of a false document. One, there is the question of making. That is preparation and making. Two, a false document. That document is not genuine. And three, the intent of making that document is to defraud or to deceive somebody. That is Section 345. What is a document? What is a document? In this division of this code, document does not include a trademark or any other sign used in connection with the articles of commerce, though they may be written or printed or in electronic media. Any business document, Danstan Omari and Associates, that is a business name for trade. All these documents are not forgery. So the document must be in relation to a person, not a business issue. Making a false document. 347. We'll go slowly because here Kenyans are here. Any person makes a false document who, one, makes a document purporting to be what in fact it is not. A title deed is a title deed, but the document you have made is not a title deed. A certificate from Form 4 at Kenyatta, at Kenya High, Alliance High, Nyamira High School, Bungoma, Butere Girls. You make a document purporting it to be that, what it is. If you make that you have made a forged document. 2, alters a document with authority in such a manner that if the alteration had been authorized, it could have altered the effect of that document. You got division 4 in the old system, or you got a D minus. You go and alter it to be a C plus. You got a pass at the university. You go and alter it to be a first class. You change the actuals. Kenya National Examination Council gave you a certain grade. You alter that grade. That is what is called altering. 3, introduces into a document without authority while it is being drawn up a matter which, if it had been authorized, would have altered the effect of that document. You now bring new information and they impose it on that document. That is making a false document. D, signs a document. If you sign a document, what does sign mean? In the name of any person without his authority, whether such a name is or is not the same as that of the person signing it. Every document has somebody who signs it. Check every signature, every certificate you have. If it's the birth certificate, there's somebody who signed it. If it's academic certificate, there's somebody who signed it. If it's a university certificate, there's somebody who signed it. Now you sign yourself, purporting to be that person. You are not that person. If you sign a document purporting it to be signed by somebody else, that is making a document. 2, you sign a document in the name of any fictitious person alleged to exist, whether the fictitious person is or is not alleged to be of the same name as the person signing it. Now you say, instead of the document is coming from Danstan Omari, and Omari, Danstan signs the signature drawn and filed by Danstan Omari, you say it was signed by Mary Nyambura. You bring a fictitious name. You don't sign by your name. So that you say, even if you are arrested, it's not me who signed it. My ID is Bramwell Mololo. My ID is Vivian Simiyu. But the person here who signed, his name is Kenyan Kelvin. Remember, the signature will be taken to the forensics at the DCI. And they will find who signed. Whoever signed, the name doesn't matter. They check the signature and the DCI forensics will say it is you who signed this document. So if you signed that document and cheated that your name is different from the person, the signature will get you free. If you sign a document in the name represented as being the name of a different person from that of the person signing it and intended to be mistaken for the name of that person, you can sign purporting that you are a very good signer. You are able to copy signatures. You sign as if it is Danstan Omari who has signed that document. My friend, the forensics, the DCI will be able to get a signature and know that that is not the signature of the officer. Lastly, if you sign in the name of a person personated by the person signing the document, provided that the effect of the instrument depends upon the identity between the person signing the document and the person from whom one professes. So if you sign a document by personation, pretending that you are that person, you are that land registrar, you sign a land title deed, you are that officer at the National Transport Authority, the NTSA, you sign a logbook. You are a magistrate. You are not a magistrate. You sign a document purporting it that you are a judge. You are a magistrate. You are not an advocate. You sign a document purporting it to be you are not that advocate. That is an offense. Fraudulently. 1. If you make or transmit any electronic record or part of the electronic record, if you fraudulently send any digital document, emails, WhatsApp, text messages, a fraudulent message, my friend, that is making an utterance. 2. If you affixes any digital signature or an electronic record, if you forge an electronic signature, you'll be in. Next, 1 makes any mark denoting the authenticity of a digital signature. So if you are involved in a fraud of a signature without authority, without any person. F, if you purport to make a document purporting it to have been made by somebody and it is later proved that person is dead. Somebody who died 20 years ago, you get his death certificate, his birth certificate, you change it and pretend that he signed those documents before he was dead. We know of very, very funny cases. Most parents, when they die, people go to the mortuary and get their fingerprints affixed on a cell transfer. And it's true, the fingerprint of a dead person still carries the marks of the fingerprint of a live person. So the DCI is able to get whether that fingerprint was fixed when the person was dead or not, because it is a serious, serious issue. Anybody who does this and is found you'll be jailed for 3 years. If you intend to defraud by forgery, then you'll also go for 3 years. So the punishment for forgery is in 349, you'll go in for 3 years. Forgery of a will, you forge a will that the late had written this will. What does the law say? Section 350, you will go in for 7 years, forgery of a will. Suppose you forge a judicial judgment. Somebody walks to court, forges a judgment of a judge, a magistrate, a qadi, and purports it to be a lawful court order. And this one, I want to explain to you. Don't be cheated that this is a judgment of the court. Every judgment of the court is now available on the CTS. If you log into the platform of judiciary, you will check whether that order was given by a court of competent jurisdiction. Stop getting judgments written at River Road. Stop getting court orders manufactured at River Road. Confirm on the CTS, the platform of the judiciary. If you do that, forgery of judicial or official document, you go in for 7 years. If you forge a stamp, every government office has a stamp. The registrar of land has a stamp. The judges have their stamp. The registrar of births and deaths have their stamp. Advocates, called commissioners of oath, have their stamp. commissioners, those called notary public, have their stamp. The Chief Justice has their stamp. The President of the Republic of Kenya has his stamp. If you forge an official stamp by any means and you fix it there, you'll be imprisonment for 7 years. That is section 352. Then we have uttering false documents. Uttering is UTTERING. 353. Very interesting. What is uttering? Any person who knowingly and fraudulently utters a false document is guilty of an offence of the same kind and is liable to the same punishment as if he had forged the thing in question. If you present that document and you know it is a forgery, you went, somebody made for you a document, you presented during the recruitment of the police constables. You have presented it. The presentation of a forged document is called uttering of a false document. You present it. You are not the maker, but you have given it there. 354, uttering cancelled or exhausted documents. If you also present documents that have expired, that have been cancelled, you know very well your title deed was cancelled by the ELC court, but you take it to the bank and you are given a loan. You know very well your certificate from Kenya Media Communication was cancelled. You present it to another person to get your accreditation. If you present any document that has been cancelled, that is called uttering. If you get that, you will go in for 7 years. If you procure execution of documents by false pretense, 355, you get documents and for the procurement of services, then you procure execution of those documents by false pretenses. You take them to a magistrate, he signs. You take them to an advocate, he signs, and you know very well those documents are already declared null. You will go in for 7 years. Altering crossings on checks. The checkbook, you have a check. 356, any person who with intent to defraud obliterates, adds, or alters the crossing or a check. You have been given a check reading 10,000 shillings. You add a zero, then it becomes 100,000 shillings. Any alteration of a document called a check for cash purposes, my friend, you will go in for 7 years as per section 356. 357, making documents without authority. Any person who with intent to defraud or to devise. If you make a document without lawful authority, you don't work for Court Helicopter. You make a document, you make a letterhead of Court Helicopter News. If you make a document that you are not allowed to make, you are not an advocate, you are drafting a document without lawful authority, if you are found, you'll go in 357 for 7 years. If you demand a property on the basis of a forged will, you walk with a will and say, and you know very well this will is forged, you say, I am entitled to this land. If you attempt under section 358, you will go in for 7 years. If you purchase forged notes, purchasing by forged notes, dollars, you have forged dollars, fake dollars, and you know them. You have fake Kenyan currency notes. You have fake money. You walk into a supermarket, you walk into a petrol station, and you know you have a forged note. The money you have is forged. Let me read for you, because this is where it is. 359. Purchasing forged notes. Any person who, without lawful authority or excuse, the proof of which lies on him, imports or purchases or receives from any other person or has in his possession a forged bank note or currency note, whether filed up or in a bank, knowing it to be forged, is guilty of a felony, and you'll be imprisoned for 7 years. Possession of a forged note. It does not matter whether you have used it or you have not used it. If you are found in possession of forged currency, fake currency, my friend, you are going in for 7 years. So whenever you get a dollar, confirm it is a genuine dollar. So whenever you get Kenyan currency, remember, we are now heading to 2027. Politicians are going to print a lot of fake notes, and they'll be giving people in the village, cheating them that that is genuine money. If you are found with that money, you will go in for 7 years. So when the politicians are giving you that money, ensure that that is genuine money. My ladies, it is all over in Court Helicopter and other media houses. Fare, you are given fare which is forged. You are called to a club and you are given a bundle of dollars. You are excited by the new foreign boyfriend that you have gotten, only to go to a supermarket in the morning, then you are arrested that you came with the forged money. Be sure the money that you are given is genuine money and is not forged money, or else you will go in for 7 years. Then we have falsifying warrants for money payable under public authority. If you falsify the warrants that for payment under section 360, you go in for 7 years. If you falsify a register, you'll go in for 7 years. Sending false certificates of marriage to the registrar. You know you are not married. You don't have any married, but you want to go abroad, and the condition is that you must be married. You generate a forged marriage certificate. You walk with it. The two of you walk to the registrar saying, as we were married, and you present a marriage certificate that is forged. Under section 362, you will go in for 7 years. Lastly, if you give false statements for registers of births, deaths, and marriages, you know you were born in 1950. You generate a fake notification of birth that you are born in 1972 to reduce years so that you don't retire earlier. You know your actual age is different. You go to the registrar of the national identification cards. You falsely present documents showing either you are a young person or you are below 18, and we are going to elections. The Gen Zs, you know very well, politicians are going to give money, and they'll be asking, give me your ID, then I'll give you money. You rush, you are 14, you wear high-heeled shoes, you get documents and go to the registrar and get an ID, and yet you are 14. If you present these things and you know they are fake, you risk to go in under section 365 for 3 years. Equally, as we said, if you present false documents to the registrar of marriages, you are 17 years and 8 months. Under the Kenyan law, you can only be married when you are 18 years and above. If you present that to the registrar, then you will go in for 3 years. Wakili Danstan Omari is telling you, avoid crime. stop forging documents. We have seen fake lawyers in court. I've had a chance to defend them. A fake lawyer arguing a case in court. We have seen fake doctors who have done surgeries. The surgeries that are so fatal, people are dead because of fake documents. We have seen fake people who are lecturers at universities, teaching students, impacting knowledge, yet they are fake doctors. We have seen buildings collapse in Nairobi, out of the country, because the architects, the quantity surveyors, the structural engineers did have proper documents. They forged their documents and presented to the National Construction Authority. We have seen what fake documents have done. Politicians have been arrested and been arraigned in court for having fake documents. Government institutions have come out clearly that the people who have been working there have fake documents, both in the public sector, in the private sector. My appeal, why do you want to lie that you went to the University of Nairobi? Yes, we know you went during the graduation of Cyrus. That does not make you have a degree. If you went to a university to attend a graduation ceremony, you are not an alumni of that university. Go to class, attend class, be taught, be a professional. We did an explainer on how you become an advocate. You must go to the university for LLB. You must go to the Kenya School of Law for the diploma. You must go for privilege for you to be admitted. Avoid forged documents. You know how many vehicles are on the road that were stolen. Why don't you buy a vehicle from a dealer? Why don't you buy? Why don't you have documents that are genuine? Wakili Danstan Omari always advising you that a shortcut is fatal. The shortcut is fatal. Today, every detail is on digital platform. If somebody is telling you, go to the digital platform. For fake lawyers, get to the website of the Law Society of Kenya. For engineers, get to the website of the engineers. For the doctors, get to the website of the engineers. For the journalists, Helicopter Media is registered, and you can check from the Media Council platform that the people who are handling Helicopter are accredited. They are media personalities. They have been checked their certificates, and their certificates are proved that they are lawfully allowed to practice journalism. Wakili Danstan Omari always telling you, put on your tracksuit, avoid crime. Before my good friend, the DCI, before my good friend, the IG, before our good friend, the ESCC comes for you, because you don't have academic papers and professional papers to do what you are doing. Keep watching Wakili Danstan Omari from Helicopter News.